Hello, and welcome back to Disenthrall. I am Patrick Smith. I've been trying to record this quick, short episode for a week now, but this is our third ER trip in like 4 or 5 days or whatever, and so I just have not been able to get anything done in terms of videos. But I had someone, they reached out to me. Well, first of all, say hi. 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 So somebody reached out to me, and they had some questions. So they were kind of concerned with, I guess, the talk of government regulation, forcible immunization, forcible vaccination, and a lot of I guess the primary reason people are for forced vaccination is for the people that are immunocompromised. And so being a thoughtful person that this person was, rather than sort of form opinions based on feels, took the time to reach out to me and say, hey, you're someone that I know that has an immunocompromised child or family member, so I have some questions for you. And so she sent me questions, and they were really good. It was really good questions. It was just 2 or 3 questions. They were really thoughtful questions, and I thought rather than just answer her directly, that I would make a video so that other people might be able to benefit from these thoughts or insights into what it's like to have an immunocompromised, or what that means is somebody with a reduced immune system, an immune system that doesn't function, somewhere in between not at all to almost not at all. It's a realm of existence that most people aren't familiar with, they're not exposed to, and so when you're trying to have these discussions with people that are for government forcibly, forcing people to inject themselves with vaccinations for the purposes of the people, like what I'm dealing with here, you need a frame of reference. So I wanted to do this video to give people a frame of reference. And I just haven't had time to do it. And so I'm sitting here in a situation caused by an immunocompromised situation. We're here, and basically the way it works is anytime she pops a fever, and the threshold for a fever is about where you'd think it is, around 101. Anytime that happens, we have to, within an hour or less, get her to the ER and have them start a IV antibiotic treatment. This is because if it ends up being something bad, bacteria, viral, whatever, her normal defenses aren't there. And so very quickly it can run out of control. From the time you pop a fever until the time it is a life and death situation, can be a few hours in some cases. And like sepsis can set in very quickly, things like that. So it's literally, it's a very serious situation. It's not something you mess with. It's something that we've had to craft our entire life around for the past 1.5 years to protect her, because there's just a lot of considerations that most people don't think about. Anyway, so enough preamble. Let me get to her questions. So this person's working on a project, and so she's asking people for information so that she can kind of learn more about the situation. This person says that they're trying to ratchet down the insanity, exploring how this problem can be solved with something less than this nuclear option of government guns requiring, taking direct control and forcing things into people's bodies. So it's very thoughtful of this person to actually reach out to do the effort to learn, rather than just follow one's preconceived notions about the situation. I'm not going to discuss in this video vaccinations. I'm just going to try and answer these questions. So question number 1, what type of protections do you expect or want from the public? What an awesome question. One that I've never been asked before, one that I've never even heard asked before. So I want to take a moment to honor this person and respect this person for thinking to ask that question. We're in this impossible situation. What do we expect or want from Joe Public? Well, obviously it can't be something very difficult or complicated, because it's Joe Public. But without even getting into the vaccination discussion, there is so much that Joe Public can do to help their own health primarily, but tangentially help the health of people that don't have their own internal protections functioning. And it's not hard stuff. I mean, it literally is not hard stuff. It's just taking a little bit of responsibility and a little bit of self-control for your personal situation. Literally all it takes. So if you are sick, you just recognize that fact and you modify your behavior a little bit. And what do I mean by modify your behavior a little bit? I mean, don't go to places with a lot of people. I mean, stay home if you can. Try not to expose other people to your body while you are sick. Period. End of sentence. Like, that is the easiest thing you can do. If you are sick, if you have symptoms, stay home if you can. Order your food, order your meals on Uber Eats, or try to. A lot grocery stores these days will deliver groceries for you. Things like that. Have friends maybe deliver things and drop the packages at the door for you if possible. Like, and I'm just saying, like, if possible, where reasonable, these are things that you can do. And keep a little something in the back of your mind. When you are sick, especially when you're symptomatic, you have to sort of think about yourself as a weapon. A weapon that can and will and absolutely can hurt and kill people. And so just like with other weapons, and we concentrate on trigger discipline and muzzle control and all these safety things that we do when we're messing with real weapons. When you're sick, to a certain subset of the population, you're a weapon. So consider yourself kind of like a weapon when you're sick. Don't shake hands with people. Don't do what you can to just reduce your contact with the general public, especially in large public places where people kind of have to go. Like, there are times where we have to go out in public in places where there's lots of people and we just can't avoid it. And so when we go out, we're obviously really paranoid because it's not even her. Like, we never bring her to these public places, but we have to worry about ourselves because we'll go out and we'll interact with people and then we bring home things, and that is just as dangerous as taking her to some of these places directly. Number two, the second thing I would kind of ask the public, aside from just like a little common courtesy and sort of treating yourself like the danger that it can be to some people when you're symptomatic, when you're sick, I think hand sanitizer is like this secret of the first world that I guess people don't give enough credit and don't realize how amazing this is at preventing illness. For the past year and a half, we've kept hand sanitizer all over our house. And we're not like nut jobs about it. Like, we use the bathroom, we do the hand sanitizer. Before we eat, little hand sanitizer. When we come in from public, we come back to the house, hand sanitizer. That's about it. That's really it. Like, when we do something that might have to do with bacteria, little hand sanitizer. That's it. It takes like literally no time. And let me tell you, my family used to have sicknesses in and out of the house just on a regular, normal people basis. We have gotten sick so much less just by using hand sanitizer. So number two, use it. Get some bottles, leave them around your house, and use them and watch how less you get sick. That's just kind of like a tip for you personally. That doesn't really affect immunocompromised people, but it's actually huge. People don't understand just quite how huge that little thing is. I would recommend it to literally everyone. Number three, and this is a little bit out there. It's like perfectly normal, expected behavior in other countries. For here, though, for some reason it's not. If you're sick and you're symptomatic and you have to go out in public, especially a place with a lot of people where you might come in contact or expose people to your body weapon, wear a little medical mask. Just like find one, they're dirt cheap, wear it. That's it. It keeps all of your germs and nastiness from your orifices. It keeps that stuff in you instead of letting it, cough or sneeze or breathe it out into the world for other people. I don't think that's unreasonable. So those are just 3 things that I would just ask the general public. If you're sick and symptomatic, treat yourself like the danger that you can be to some people. Check out some hand sanitizer. And if you do have to go out in public, wear a mask. That's my 3-part answer to question number 1. Okay, question number 2 is, what do we do to protect my daughter, who is immunocompromised? The laundry list is quite extensive. She has weekly visits where blood work is done to determine the exact efficaciousness of her immune system week to week, because her treatment necessarily cycles her immune system, and they're trying to keep it in a given range. So without going into a bunch of details that most people probably won't care about, there's a measure of your immune system strength, let's say, called ANC. It can range from 0, obviously, all the way to about 10,000 is like a really good, healthy level. 7 to 10,000 is a really good, healthy level for this number to be when they're measuring your immune system. During the primary phase, like the first year of her treatment, they were zeroing her out completely, constantly. And so during that time, we are ultra paranoid, because little things, there is no such thing as a little thing. We are on a scale of 0 to literally sealing her in a bubble. We're at 9. We're doing everything we can short of sealing her in a bubble. Because for example, and I don't want to make this long and overly detailed, but she fell and scraped her knee and got a little bit of fungus, just random fungus that exists everywhere in the world, that is literally the normal person is absolutely immune to this stuff, right? Well, it became a big deal for her, and that it got, she had fungus growing roots down into her knee, and it got into her lungs, and it was instantly a full-on life-threatening situation that she will now be on antifungals for the remainder of this treatment that will last over a year. So little things that literally we don't even notice we're totally immune to are absolutely life-threatening. And so for the first part of her treatment, we didn't leave the house if we didn't have to. We absolutely didn't take her anywhere. There's a lot of beeping happening here. You also learn all the buttons. So, and now that we're in kind of the follow-up phase, they call it the maintenance phase. It's like the second half of her treatment. Rather than trying to zero her out, they're trying to keep her immune system in a narrow band around 1,500. So still very weak in terms of an immune system, but not absolutely 0. So the restrictions are a little bit more lax. Anyway, so to answer the question, what do? We still try and keep her away from public places for the most part. Public places with a lot of people for the most part. But she's been in a bubble, figuratively. She's been in a bubble for so long now that to prevent psychological damage, there's still a need to let her get out and go to playgrounds and things like that, because she hasn't been able to do that forever. But playgrounds are one of the most dangerous places. You think of playgrounds to an immunocompromised family as a war zone. That is where all the enemies is at a playground, because every kid from every public school soup of scum and villainy and disease goes and rubs themselves all over this playground equipment, and then your little kid wants to go and have fun like a normal kid does, and they need that playtime, and they need that exercise, and that time. They need it. And so we're at the point now where we kind of have to start making some exceptions and allowing these times to happen. But what then happens is we pick up stuff, and every single time we pick something up, it's an instant. We call it the fever dance now, because it literally happens so often, and it's really excruciating. What that means is she pops a fever, and we have, like I said, we have that window of time where we have to get her straight to the ER, start the antibiotics, and whatever. So we're in this sort of Oh, you finished your popsicle? You need a napkin? So, we're in this like self-tortured place where we have to sort of expose her to things, but also that kind of destroys our life because we have to, for the third time in the past 5 days, we've done the fever dance, and that destroys your productivity. Can't go to work, can't get anything done at the house, can barely take care of the family, whatever. So we still do the same stuff that we did before, where we can kind of limit her from going to places that have a lot of people. We keep her the hell away from anybody that's symptomatic or is showing signs of any kind of sickness at all. That's friends and family and everything. Everybody except immediate family. She'll wear a mask anytime we're out in public when there's a lot of people around or when it's near a construction site. This is a thing that most people don't even notice, but like construction sites, anytime there's a lot of dirt stirred up into the air, that dirt almost always contains fungus that, again, you and I are totally immune to, but life-threatening situation for her. And the other thing is we still keep her away from most other children, especially children that aren't vaccinated. And I know I'm not going to talk about the vaccination stuff. And it's not even being around unvaccinated people that is the danger right now. Little known fact, without getting into the vaccination discussion, the child cancer doctors in this area, this is one of the most prominent kid cancer hospitals in the country. The doctors all convened and reviewed the statistics around the percentage of the population that's vaccinated and the efficaciousness of the vaccines, which we're not going to get into. Summary is they have kind of made the determination that it's fallen below the threshold needed for herd immunity, another topic we're not going to get into. But so they're changing their recommendations for the kids that have no immune systems. It's not so much it's in her maintenance phase now. Again, it's slightly laxer now, but she can be around people that aren't vaccinated right now. That's not the issue, as long as there's no physical contact. So the problem with children, though, is that it's very difficult to sort of monitor the contact, monitor everything that they've touched, so that they don't touch the same stuff, things like that. So those are some of the things. It's like a constant paranoia. It's like a little demon that sits on your shoulder.
Daddy.
Yes, ma'am.
Tap on Teddy. Tap on her little kitty.
Okay, when I'm done making this video, I will help you find it, okay? Let me finish making this video. You want to say hi again? Okay.
Hi.
Hi! What was I saying? It's like having a little demon on your shoulder. That you're constantly paranoid. You're constantly looking out for things that might be sources of disease, of viruses and bacteria and fungus. That it just becomes part of like everyday life, things that you have to think about to keep her safe, because she doesn't have her own protection right now. It's sort of like we are her immune system in advance kind of thing. And when we fail, we end up, here in the ER at 4 a.m. like we are now again, waiting for the antibiotic IV to finish so that they can run her blood work to see if there's any signs of nastiness and clear us so that we can go home and maybe do it again tomorrow. Anyway, so I kind of got off track here. This is going long. Let's see. Question number 3. How well or not do your protection efforts work? Well, we're sitting here in the hospital seeing the evidence of our protection. That's an impossible question to answer because... Are you showing them your kitty cats? Cool. We're protecting her against a range of things. And we're balancing risk on the edge of a knife. And we're mitigating the really extreme risks by doing a lot of things, and we're letting up in some ways on the lesser risks, so that there's not too much like psychological damage from being sequestered and placed in a bubble throughout 3 years of her life from this process. But to answer your question, again, the main things that we have done is my wife and I and my son, who have normal immune systems, the hand sanitizing in the house We get sick so much less often just from that. And so, like everything else aside, it works. That's what I'm trying to say. It works. It doesn't work. Does hand sanitizer work? What do you think? Yeah. Do you want to say anything? Yeah, a lot of people are going to see this. Do you want to say anything? How old are you? 4? All right.
4.
You're almost 5, though, right? Yeah. Okay. Next question. Last question, I think. What are your thoughts on forced mass vaccination as a means to protect my daughter? Well, fantastic question. Abso-fucking-lutely not. It is never okay for any reason to violate someone's consent, to forcibly control someone's property. Leave completely aside the entire vaccination, immunization, efficaciousness discussion. I'm not finally decided either way on that discussion, but it is immaterial to this question. The question that you just asked me is an ethical question about self-ownership. It is about self-ownership. Who owns your body? The owner of that body is the only person that can decide if it's acceptable to put something inside of that body. So from an ethical perspective, there is no excuse to force other people to do things to their body for any reason, even my own daughter's safety. And I hope it's clear how powerful that message is coming from someone in our situation. The ethics are above all. Self-ownership is above all. Rights are above all. You cannot sacrifice someone else's rights for your safety. That is evil. I will not sacrifice someone else's rights, even for the safety of my own family, because I will not do evil in their name. What kind of a man and father would I be? So I hope that's a good answer. Is this fun? Do you like this? Do you want to do videos one day? Oh, that'd be so cool. I hope you do videos. What do you want to do videos about? Kitty cats? We have a kitty cat obsession. Dad's not a big cat guy, so we don't allow cats in my house. And I think me not allowing cats in the house is causing cats to be the only thing that is wanted. What do you think? Yeah. All right. Do you want to say bye to the people?
Bye.
Hey, we should say our Smith thing. Do you want to? All right. What is it? We are Smiths?
And we cry when
Yes.
we need to.
Say it louder. What is it?
What's this?
We are Smiths.
We Smith. We cry when we need to.
We are tough and we cry when we need to, right? That is our family motto. Have a family motto if you have a family. It's powerful. Ours is, we are Smiths, we are tough as hell, and we cry when we need to. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Talk to you guys later.